It's another beautiful day down here in Homestead, Miami, Florida, ladies and gentlemen, and tonight the action is about to heat up just a little more, a little hotter. We are now set to go for tonight's action here of the Spartan Logistic Management LLC iRacing IROC Challenge Series right here on PTM TV. Hi, everyone, the Crusader Chris Try joining you guys here today as we get set to go for tonight's call and tonight's action. Our drivers are getting lined up in position and getting ready to wheel these things on down for some hard racing, some hard charging. And what better way to start off our day without talking to some of the boys here as they get ready for some racing down here on the Homestead Miami circuit. Well, it's good to hear from you again, Radford, here as we get settled to go here. What is going on with you tonight, buddy?
Not a whole lot, man. Just trying to get everything together and figure out what I'm doing around here.
Well, when you're trying to figure out what to do around here, what do you mean by that? Like, what's kind of the thoughts and process that you're going through to really get that ideal into it?
Mainly just getting comfortable with this car. So the top three guys here just heads and tails better than anybody else on this style of track, whether it's Texas or Homestead or what. You know, they're able to get back to the gas a lot faster than any of us. So mostly not trying to, getting comfortable, not trying to overdrive myself, trying to keep up with them because, ultimately I know I'm not going to be able to keep with them on this style of track. So, get through, nothing stupid, get through to Martinsville and have a good shot next week.
For sure there. Well, nevertheless, we do really appreciate you coming on board today here, Radford. Best of luck as we get you settled back down for the race.
Hey, thank you.
Preparing to go to battle here and preparing to get down to the stretches here. Some of the other guys here that know how to run these tracks with the best of grace and the odds. Chris Befford, number 46, joins me now here. And Chris, right now, we known you to really bring the pain and bring the speeds here on these bigger tracks here. I'm going to ask you this, though. I mean, what is really the game plan for you to try to take on this multi-groove circuit as much as the track is giving it to you today? Chris, can you hear us? I guess not. Maybe he might not be with us right now. Alright, well, guess we're going to have to bring him back into the thing here and see if maybe we can get a hold of his brother here. Well, I guess for one Medford, we'll talk to the other Medford. Brian, you got a copy? Or Brandon?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, Brandon. There we go. We got Brandon. All right. Well, we couldn't get a hold of Chris, so you're the next Medford we can get a hold of here.
Yeah, who knows what he's doing?
Well, I mean, he's probably going to find a few nice girls to talk with, or find a few to really go and chat with. But nevertheless, you are getting set to go more on the focus end here. It's all business today with your crew. How's it feeling down there?
Yeah, I'm not feeling real confident today, which is pretty normal in this car. So those top four guys are really quick, going to be hard to beat. So we may have to try some strategy, maybe some fuel stuff. Who knows?
Who knows indeed. But do you think that maybe that strategy and fuel line can help out a little bit?
It's going to kind of depend. That last stage, probably not, but probably look at getting some stage points with some fuel strategy maybe. But I think we're racing for 4th or 5th right now.
Sounds about right here. Well, nevertheless, here as you continue to go for your playoff hopes and your playoff dreams, we'll see if this plays out okay today. Well, best of luck down there.
Thanks, man. Thanks for the broadcast.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the number 83 here talking with us. Now on the line is the number 22, Matt Kopp here. And Kopp still in this playoff hunt, still in the battle. How's it feel?
It feels pretty good. I'm not in the top 8 that races tonight. I think I was out after last week, but I was glad just to make it into that, and that was kind of a season goal for me. It's a tough competition in this league for sure.
It certainly is indeed. I know a lot of tough times and a lot of tough battles here to really rage with, and some great drivers to really battle with here, but as you know, your own control and your own line of sight here, really what's one big thing you're going to watch out for more than anything else in this track?
Keeping it pointed forward, kind of getting out in the gas too much too soon. It likes to swing around on you, so I'm just kind of feathering that throttle up off the corner and just keeping it going the right direction.
For sure there. Well, Kopp, nevertheless, best of luck down here. We'll see what happens here, sir.
Thank you.
Number 22, ladies and gentlemen, Matt Kopp is going to come on the line here and have a little word or two. Aaron Smith right now is the number 1 seed from the race end here to the practice end. We'll see if that comes into play to his factor and his benefit here as we get ready to go. The racing is about to kick off right here on PTM Racing TV. With that said, let's take a look at our starting lineup On the pole, I just mentioned him a minute ago, Aaron Smith, number 1 seed. He'll go, and the number 1 is outside, Brian McCann in the 3. Row number 2, Kevin McCann will be in the 33 is outside Troy Radford, the 94. Row number 3, Brandon Medford, the 83, with David E. Brown in the 7. Row number 4, it's Chris Medford in the 46 outside Cook Quick in the 54. Row 5 will be Chris Wally, and the 5 is outside with Paul Buzel in the 9. And row number 6 is going to be Doug Wysocki. The 34 is outside Jeff Napier in the 40. At row number 7, then we'll see it'll be Tim Schofield, and the number 12 is outside Ray Radford in the 47. Matt Kopp, pilots, does 22. Your final starter today. Race fans, if you're ready, we're ready. It's time to kick things up a notch. The heat is extensive, and it's going to be right here for it. Our field is set to go for tonight's action here in Homestead, Miami, Florida, ladies and gentlemen, presented in part by our friends at Spartan Logistics Management, LLC, R&R Raceware, the Round Pedal Gaming TV, SimSpeedShop.com, Track Time Entertainment, and 5-Star Graphics. For all you guys right on the track and on the show, it's time to get down to business, time to get down to the race.
Green.
We're Green Flag Racing is. I'm going to need to get that mic shut off here. You'd think by now I'd had everything shut off by now. Green flag is out. We're underway right now. Coming off down off turn number 1 down turn number 2. Lot up around the field here. Everybody looking for position, jockeying for a run early on. Many drivers going to be put straight into the limelight, put into the fight already, looking for some speed, looking for some advantage. Coming down the ends here, David E. Brown on the outside already, looking for a little bit of a gap, a little bit of a push off here. Can't quite get the momentum going, but he will draft around the 94 here. Troy Radford, 46, Chris Medford right now with Cook Quick right behind him, working their magic and working their way around. Well, drivers right now looking for some openings here as I'm trying to find a way to keep myself cool up here. It's hot as heck as it gets up here at Homestead Miami Speedway here, guys. I'm having some troubles getting some fresh air and trying to breathe around here. I'm telling you, it's hot. I can barely breathe down here, man. It's so hot down here. I'm having some troubles actually getting my breath, catching myself. Schofield out of the race here. Troubles down there with number 12, so unfortunately that's going to be a tough break for him and his crew. As right now your race leaders is Brian McCann, Kevin McCann, Aaron Smith right in front of him. Smith right now trying to get some speed going from starting number 1 seed here today, but doesn't quite have the momentum his way yet. That will obviously change as time goes on. We've known very much what old Smith has been known for and what he'll bring to the table. You may also notice above there it does say the stages now, so from now on you'll actually see what stage we're on and when we are in position here to switch over the stages. So kind of keep an eye on that as we continue around with the races. David Brown, yeah, back down to the bottom here. Radford on the bottom, on the top end here. You can see a little wiggle though. That 94 is trying to watch out for the 7. Slowing down tremendously, not trying to overtax the throttle. It's extremely difficult to hold these things on the line, especially considering how dangerous and how tricky it can get from the runs and the ends here. Brown trying to find a line somewhere, but also at the same time moving up chains and moving up positions every which way to Sunday. He needs to get something figured out sooner rather than later here, because that does not look like a good line for the tires or the sake of his own speeds. Chris Medford shooting down the bottom, trying to find the rung, trying to find some little grab on the track here. He's got he's got Paul Buzel and Chris Wally right behind him here. Down the lines here, down the ends, they play him out. Every driver looking for his position here, looking for some stuff up. Well, Wally right now currently dealing with Paul Buzel right up the top side of him there. Buzel trying to maybe goozle the 5 out of a position, out of the run. As at SimsBeatShop.com, number 5 tries to hold back down the Spartan Logistics Management LLC, number 9 Chevrolet. And again, if you are wondering, yes, all these drivers are driving Chevrolets. They are not designed in any way to be shape or form different from one another from the Fords or Toyotas. It's all Chevrolet body style. You're probably wondering at home, why is that? Well, it wasn't kind of obvious enough from the name of it. IROC Series. They're testing to make sure you give you actually the real version of a actual race car and the actual kind of same specs, same equipment. And then basically turns into just testing the drivers out, making them work for everything they got to see who is the best driver. That's why when we always say when you get these next gen cup cars out, you just never know what to expect. Sometimes you get the guys that are extremely good and clever and they know how to run these races to the best of their abilities. And then sometimes you get just literally someone who makes a little bobble, a little mistake, and they don't even realize it until it's too little too late, costing themselves all that time and all that advantage to really make it around. Also, I just want to say thank you to everybody that did wish me, you know, get feeling better and all that after my surgery I had on my vocals and my dentistry on my mouth end. So, yes, I am fine. I'm okay. As you can hear me, I'm a little still sore, and currently I'm trying to get used to talking the way my way everything feels now. So, but I am good, and I really appreciate everyone for the support there. But don't worry, I wasn't going anywhere, and I'm not knocked out just yet. Speaking of not knocked out just yet, Chris Wally and Paul Buzel may be knocked out, but Brandon Medford's not out of that yet here in the playoffs. He's trying to avoid those guys behind him, but those two just having a little bit of fun racing each other out. This is the kind of battles you want to see, folks. This is the kind of moments that can really make or break someone's race. Aaron Smith on the number 1 right now, looking to try to get up there to number 33. Kevin McCann get the most amount of points here in the playoff system, which he's been known to make a run for and make a battle with. Now, remember last time out, though, he actually found himself in the worst predicament, the worst odds, and it actually cost him so much that Kevin McCann was actually, Brian McCann was actually able to overtake him in the points race. Now has a chance at becoming something a little bit bigger, something a little bit more, in all the fight and all the fray. Feel them down around the track here, the Medford boys and the McCann boys doing their own little thing, doing their own little stuff here, not worried about too much here. Brandon up top side right now, looking to maybe make a move off. Chris Medford, his family member, just kind of giving him the old shaft, the old boot and run, the bust and run here. Busting it loose and busting it out on the track, not giving him any room, not giving him any chances to really breathe. Just kind of putting his left foot on that gas pedal and giving her everything she's got. Can't say that I blame him. This is something you're going to see a lot of course, close quarter, side-by-side battles here between drivers, between the fields and perspectives. Every driver has a story to tell, and every driver has a little thing to show you. And right now, Napier being one of those guys as well, as he continues to work his way from the outhouse, trying to make his way back up into that White House territory. Let's get a bit of a run here at Matt Kopp here in the number 22 as Kopp continues to pull the outside line, trying to build and bolster the momentum. And you can see the way the car is rotating off the track here as well. That is one nice thing that is kind of set with this car and set with this track, is that it does allow for multiple angles, multiple lanes, multiple driving styles, as well as multiple strategies. You can try and temper with it early and get the most speed out of the car. You can try to save your tires up and then go for the run later. We have seen that done successfully before here on PTM Racing TV, here on this very same track actually. So there's a lot of ways to maneuver around. There's a lot of ways to wind it up and really bring it home. I would say more than anything though, the one thing that I've expected more here from this track has always just been the close center side areas here. Cut quick right now, still looking for some speed and a little bit of power off there, trying to get something going. The Medford boys starting to separate just a little bit out here. Jeff Napier and Matt Kopp look like they're going to get a little bit closer, cornered together. Kopp, you heard him say earlier on, he's just trying to watch himself, not trying to do anything too crazy here. And you can see a lot of guys kind of living up to that reputation, that strategy here as well. There's not a whole lot of sections here that these drivers can get too out of control with, nor can they get too much into. So they're trying to find like certain sectors, certain areas where the car can really run its course and climb down. And then everything else kind of comes into fruition the way they want it to. Doug Wysocki here, the number 34 driver we've always kind of talked about here on the show. He's not really been the ho-hum kind of guy that goes and shoots and ramps and really brings the pain down on the track. He's been more of that guy that has been more steady paced, steady minded, and really more focused, in my opinion, on long-term rallying versus that huge, humongous speed, control, and consistency you see from the McCanns, the Smiths, the Medfords. Even I throw in, of course, the number 2 of Neil Quick, which honestly we do not see Neil Quick here today, so that is a bit of a shocker. One of the points leaders here in the playoffs is going to be in a bit of trouble here with missing this race. So we'll have to see if maybe that plays out to be a factor here today. 150 laps to the distance here. Of course, stage breaks going to really make things a lot more difficult for some of these guys here. Kevin McCann certainly had to put him up there as one of them. Yeah, as the number 33 continues to just dictate his own pace, dictate his own control. Smith on the very, very low edge sector though, off turn number 2 though. Coming right into your living room, right into that 33 spotlight. Smith yet again trying to get some serious redemption and serious speed back underneath him. He knows what happened last time out. He does not want that same curse brought upon him. He doesn't want that same fate. He knew it was one of the toughest ordeals he had to suffer through. And now he's just trying to make everything work and come back to fruition for him and this crew. Cookwick getting the better here of David E. Brown, as well as getting the better of a few other guys here with the Meffords behind. Doesn't necessarily mean he's got a full run ahead of him though, as Aaron Smith actually has to go into pit road first. So the number 1 entering in first out of the bunch. I'm kind of surprised with that. I would have thought he would have stayed out a little longer, but no, his strategy seems to be to dictate the stage pace. McCann staying out means that he's actually going to get a bit of a further advantage point, a bit of a further runoff than everyone else. Cookwick right now continuing to dictate his own line, dictate the pace and the control. Not really what, oh, I guess I spoke a little too soon. I guess he decided to dictate the wall a little bit. Gets into the wall protection. The 54 has lost all that speed, all that momentum he built up. You just cannot make mistakes like that. And Brandon Mefford and Chris Mefford capitalizing extremely well and proficient out there. It's so easy to get sucked up into that wall and you wouldn't even realize it happened till moment of truth, and the moment it happens here, and it happened big time, unfortunately. Cook back up top side yet again here, trying to find some speed, trying to find some runoff here, but you can see the distances and travel starting to change again. Huge draft off in the 54, right end of that 46's run. But the dirty air slows him down to where he has to back off a little in the corner just to get settled in. David Brown dancing with the devil and dancing with Lady Luck up in that wall area, man. He was nearly about ready to clip it up, but does not. Good driving and dictating of the control and the pace for him. Aaron Smith back out of the pits as well. If it wasn't kind of obvious enough here. Meanwhile, back into the back of the pack here. Back up Doug Wysocki right now. Both drivers continuing to try to find some kind of edge, some kind of advantage. Looks like they're looking to stay more on a long run game plan here. Yeah, we're seeing it a little bit a while back here where some guys like to go a little bit more on the long end, on the long runs. Some drivers a little bit more dictating of paces and a little bit more on the let's get crazy and let's get wild, see what happens, and just bring it on down to the past the Nile. Ryan McCann right now, kind of a shock to be honest with me here at this point. He's actually in third, but you wouldn't have been able to think that because he's actually dictated up by Brandon and Chris Mefford. Now he's either playing possum with the boys again or he actually is struggling. I'm going to take a guess he's saying he's struggling a little bit. Smacked the wall there on the ends there. It looks like it might have come out of turn number 1 and 2. And the 3 car with some bad damage there on the right side, slowing him down slightly here with the aerodynamics in these packages of these cars. They may be 670 in horsepower, but that don't mean nothing on the full ends of the spectrum. They make for some extremely difficult moments and extremely difficult times to really push around. And they know it. Chris now back to the bottom lane, looking to shoot a gap off here. You see he is going for the run on the 3 of Brian McCann. And how many times we talk about the Mepper and getting into it as we continue with these runs here. Cook Quick also, speaking of getting into it, slams the wall off turn number 2. 54 sustaining some damage, and I think it might be enough to make him go into pit road. Not sure what he's going to be up to here. Troy Radford finally ends up in pit road here. Cook Quick will go in pits, so Radford and Quick both entering into pit road. That will give Brandon Mefford and Chris Mefford the 2 and 3 positions respectively. Yeah, a lot of guys right now, it seems like they're trying to go as far as they can, seeming kind of push their own limits while also trying to push the other driver to a few limits, but it seems like those that are going for a very, very long run and like long haul, they're going to be kind of testing themselves a little bit more than I think some other drivers will be later in the series. Let's see stage 1 right now about to come to a close though here with the laps finishing out. I think we're going to stop at lap number 70. I think that is our stage break. I think it's 70 and I think it'll be 120 and then it'll be from there just a shootout. Again, I could be completely wrong. I could have just completely whiffed and messed that up, but I'm pretty sure that is what we're looking at today. Chris White, Bob Buesel heading into pit road here. Jeff Napier, Matt Kopp still have yet to go in. The one that did go in before everybody else, surprisingly, was Aaron Smith in the number 1. And Smith right now giving us a good look at his onboard camera here to show you guys what he's up to right now. And you can see he's planning and strategizing a very unique little run here. Now you're probably wondering at home, what is he doing exactly that's making it such a unique run? Well, you see a lot of guys are going to that top side there. They're trying to run the wall to not steer in as much, not have to turn it off as quick. What Smith is doing though is he's shortening the track out. Yeah, he's making the track actually a little bit faster, a little bit more on pace and momentum base for him. And he's looking to try to get the most speed, the maximum amount of run to make passes like this here around, of course, that number 22 here, Matt Kopp. And Buesel getting out way too late there, gets put a lap down there by the 1 machine. So now Smith is looking to hunt back down a lone 33 of Kevin McCann. Kevin, by the way, has yet to go into pit road as much as Brian McCann has yet either. Kevin, though, his strategy, just pure unalterated horsepower and pure unalterated control of the track. He is the one, in my opinion, that has dictated the best pace and the most control here. Take a look at our sea of green, as I like to say, when we got this much kind of lap speeds kind of brought out to the track. You can see Napier is getting hunted down by that number 1 extremely well. And again, it really just boils down to one thing: shortening the track and carrying your speed with it. Paul Buesel and Matt Kopp now having a little bit of a tussle as they enter into turn number 1 and 2. Buesel, no surprise here though, we'll get the advantage just because the fact he's on a fresh set of tires and everybody else. Even with that fresher set though, it's still not enough to get to that number 1 here. David E. Brown parking it down, pit road number 4 here. He'll send it on its way and see if he can find himself to have a little bit more speed for the rest of the day. Not quite where he wanted to play in the pace or the dictatorship airline, but I would say so far he's done a pretty good job keeping up with these top guns and these young guns here, trying to make something work. Matt Kopp now right on the clutches of taking down with the number 40 of Jeff Napier. Napier doing an extremely long run, but so has Matt Kopp here with going into pit road. You know, the sad part though is both guys have been lapped down by the number 1 of Aaron Smith already, and they've been pretty much further way back of Brian McCann and Kevin McCann, as well as even, I would say, guys like Troy Radford and Ray Radford. They're coming up quick on them, so I am not fully considering this strategy to be the best strategy yet here, but I could be very wrong. And alone number 33 comes finally down into pit road. Brian McCann yet to be in pit road either. He and Napier, Kopp, Radford, Ray Radford are the only ones left not to have entered into pit road. Makes you wonder here, will they end up going into pit road at the last minute or the last second? For Brian McCann, he knows his strategy is point blank and simple. Last out longer than every single driver. And he knows where that stage break is. He knows where that timing zone is. He's trying to see if it'll work. But it doesn't look like it's going to be enough time here for him. Smith is going to get up to him. Hey, give credits too, though, for these guys trying their hardest to try their longest run they can find. That takes a lot of guts and a lot of talent just to even be able to perform right and properly manipulate. And they know it. Right Rad for the number 47 here, having a pretty good day already. He's got 7 spots up, started back 14th. He's in 7th. He'll move it right up ahead of Brian McCann here if he can get up right ahead in this position. Just a little bit more ways to go, and yes, he will, but Brian is getting out of pit road, so I don't think it really matters all that much what he does now. Neither for Chris Medford. Brian, you know, is going to lift that he's not going to let that throttle not go anywhere but straight down to the floorboards. Everybody now has gone into pit road here. It's time now to take a look at our pit stop links here. And here's a look at it here. You can see everyone that went out, they went for quite a wild ride here. Smith, though, the shortest of the bunch, ends up being the guy that's on top of the bunch. But that is not to say that he's not all the way contented and determined to win this one out with that kind of lap strategy. You see where the starting brake really stage position is. To me, it's very difficult to really see that being a perfect position to be put into and really a perfect position to win from. I think Smith, when he gets to those final stages, he's going to need to be very cautious because we know how tricky it can get on that last stage, especially. Dale just continuing to come around town here. Troy Radford, the 94, also went into pit road quite a while ago, but Seems to have made his strategy point blank and point experience here. Knows what he's up to, knows what he's at. He's just trying to keep a bit of a distance between him and himself here as the rest of the field just goes further inward. Ray Radford having to go in a pit road, back down to the bottom he goes here. Yeah, again, I do like the pacing. I do like the strategy here for these guys, but I think when we get really late into this next stage, I think they're going to really start to pick the pace up here, and I think they're going to really have to make some moves. I don't see the way everyone's playing this race out and the way they're going around right now as a long run. I think, in my opinion, this is a more of a kind of a dictated run that they're going to use just to try to get in people's minds that they are going to play this the entire time. You've seen it before with some drivers. They like to be a little bit smart, and they like to kind of play a little bit more interesting here. But I just don't see it all the way going to the end. One-third of the way there, and one-third of the way continuing on. Kevin McCann now about 4 and a tenth back of Aaron Smith. Smith holding down his line pretty well here, holding down his speed. Let's take a look at our lap time counter here, and very interesting little skid up here, I will say. You can see not quite staying fully ahead of him. Take a look at this lap here, and I think we're going to get a bit of a gain for Smith here. Yes, we will, about 0.07 of a second gain, so very innocuous position here to be put into if you're Kevin McCann. Seems like he's starting to run hard, and he's starting to run a little bit cleaner, but even with that late strategy, it still isn't just going that route yet. Gap starting to build here. That one getting more ahead of that 33 at Kevin McCann. You can see the difference starting to really show itself. Troy Radford, the 94. Boy, you want to talk about a guy that came in here today thinking he needed a points day? I'll say this cat needed a points day alright. He's looking for it. He's been pretty much, in my opinion, the dark horse of this entire series. We talk about Chris Mefford, Brand Mefford's hunt and destiny for it. We talk about Aaron Smith and Brian McCann going for broke and going for it all to be only the first driver to ever pull off 2 championships, either back-to-back or within an amount of seasons. But I really feel like we forget Troy Radford and his absolute hard racing attributes and style he's brought on the short track ends, while also being very confident with his racing abilities on the mile longs to the mile and a half. I feel as though he is the true dark horse. Now, whether or not he is able to use that to his best of work and best of line, that's on him. We'll have to find out in due time. But as Brandon Medford right now looks to go at it here with Brian McCann here. It's a good battle here right between the 3 and the 83. Putting up side by side here. Both drivers signed on the line and ready to move on the dash. Tires taking a bit of a beating, taking a bit of a runoff zone. Everyone looking to try to keep up. David Brown on the outside here, number 7 as well, making a move off here, coming for the speed, coming from the zone. The more apex, the more runoff they can get, the better off they stand. These drivers know it. That's why they're trying to keep a close dash and a close tab on everything they're doing. Well, David may be trying to keep the draft line in check, but I think he's also trying to keep that car from getting completely out of check, almost into the wall protection there off turn 2. Brian McCann didn't like that crossover, so he decided, well, you know what? Cross me once, shame on you. Cross me twice, shame on me. So here I go. I'm going to make up for it. And that is including a little dirty deed off turn 4, nearly getting Brandon Medford to go and make a mistake there. Danny Westcott saying, hey, how's it going? Long time no see. Good luck to see you all. Good luck to all as well. Tony, good to have you back on board, bud. Good to hear from you. And I'm doing alright. Like I said, top of the hour, I've been just kind of dealing with some added pressure with getting a dental surgery done on my end. So I had so my voice was a little shouty last night. I was trying to watch it. Today, I feel so much better, and I'm ready to kind of just lay this one in as thick as fast as we can. So the action gets hot. The action gets hot. We're trying to watch for it. And I guess David decided he wanted to be the one that starts it. Look at him just slingshot it right out turn number 4. A huge run up and a perfect timing zone here because they've got a crash down in turn number 2 on the backstretch. And that was right nearing the stage break here. Paul Buzel going to have to sway up and get centered back down. Take a look at our PTM replay presented in part by Track Time Entertainment today. Came right off turn number 2, and I'm not sure if him and Wally just completely wrecked each other out or if that was a mistake on the number 5's end here. We'll take one more look at it. It looked like a great battle there coming off the corner, and it looked like just a hiccup, unfortunately. And it looks like Wally was trying to steer it off. The car was lost in the rear, but didn't quite clear itself. Also, real quick, folks, just a heads up, I just received word down on the track here, and also I'm seeing right now Bobby Hamilton Jr., yes, that Bobby Hamilton Jr. is now in our broadcast end here on our track, so I don't know if he'll be able to race this time or not, but I don't think he will be able to. I think he's just kind of coming out to watch these guys coming out for a little race here, but Bobby, if you're watching this right now, my friend, good to have you back on the show. Would love to see you racing out here again sometime. Well, pit stops being made. Aaron Smith, Kevin McCann, Troy Radford, they all have got their stints and their spot in. Which one of these drivers gets the better of the other? Find out when we return. Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, I want to give a big thank you and a thanks to our sponsors today, Spartan Logistics Management LLC, by R&R Racewear, the official iRacing merch store, as well as the IROC Challenge Series merch store. Be sure to get your merchandise line today for R&R Racewear. By Loud Pedal Gaming TV, smashing the loud pedal for your viewing entertainment. By SimSpeedShop.com. By Track Time Entertainment. And by 5-Star Graphics. A very big thank you from the IROC Challenge Series, as well as all of us here at PTM Racing TV Studios for your support and help to the drivers and the show. So I believe they'll go around and kind of face off a little bit here. We may have to change the stage number 1 to stage number 2 here in a little bit, but I believe that will settle us up and get us ready to fire back on down. Tony Westcott saying, do the drivers get iRacing points, or is this a different kind of racing? They do get points. It's just not the official kind of points like you're thinking. When he's talking, what folks at home, you're wondering what Westcott was referring to. In iRacing, we do get SR and iRating points via how we finish, how we race, and how we position in the official race series. But when we're running in these leagues, these are not, in this case, going to affect any of that. It's really just let drivers go out and actually do their own thing, doing their own stuff and doing their own way, and just go from there. That's really all it is. Lights are off on the pace car here. We're going to double file them up right now. Chris Medford, Brandon Medford, both heading out of pit road, trying to get back onto the field. Coming down on the green start zone, restarting back up. We're ready to go back to it. Gavin McCann, Aaron Smith right now having a great battle off the ends. Brian McCann moving back into the chains as well, trying to get the most amount of points he can here for the stage break. Every driver running as hard as they can right now, trying to find a top three in this. Remember, only top three get points. It goes 6, 3, and 1 on the top spots for stage one, and that's going to make a huge difference if you know what I mean for just getting those extra amounts and the extra allotted spots you can get. That's why I see these top 5 right now battling as hard as they are and quick as they can. David Brown and Chris Bedford as well. They are right now moving up some chains, moving up some runs, looking to find some speed as well, but they're not quite getting it here. Whoa, 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 a little trouble down there for Matt Kopp. Number 22 gets a little sideways into turn number 3 and 4. Gets it reeled back down. Sets himself back up as Doug Wysocki now looking to put him a lap down even more. Laps winding down. Stage coming to an end here soon enough. Aaron Smith, Kevin McCann, Brian McCann back at it. Tony saying, awesome, thanks for answering my question. Yeah, no problem, man. That's what we're here for. Going off the clutches down into the turn, and every driver is still looking for a position. Smith, the man of the hour, the man with the power. And he has certainly been using some of that power to its fullest peak and potential. Boy, talk about having to really be smooth, gentle, and under controlling with that steering there. You see Brian McCann watching every turn, every little angle he goes from. He's not wanting to put himself into a bad spot whatsoever. He knows what he saw earlier with Buzel and Wally, as he was told by his spotter and his crew chief down there, so he's keeping a close tab and a close eye on it. Kevin trying to knock down Aaron Smith off his top spot, his podium aim here. Going for a level, going for a little breakdown or two on the clutches and on the corners. gonna be interesting to kind of see what these guys are thinking here, really feeling from the stage here when we get to that in just a minute. But it seems like more than anything to me, it looks like the long run is starting to be actually more of a factor than I thought. I said earlier, a lot of guys that were trying to stay in the back actually were the ones that were going the extreme longest and longest distance, unless your name was Ernest Smith or Brian and Kevin McCann. But Troy Radford, you know, again, the guy that I've said earlier, he's a bit of a dark horse here. He is also doing that dream fat front little close left corner counter of the authority kind, if you will, as he currently is holding on to fourth, trying to get that third spot. Looming near the end, you can see the green as well piloted on these cars here. If you see the mean greens on the top, on those headers and on the footers down below, and yes, that's coming for David B. And yes, that does count for David E. Brown's car as well. That means that they are actually running in the playoffs. If you don't see it, that means they are out, but they are still racing. Try to not only prove a point, but also try to make an extra little bit of dough out of it. Kevin McCann there, you saw pulling it right up here close to Aaron Smith here. Smith maybe starting to feel a little bit of that pressure, starting to feel a little bit of that sway coming back at him, but Smith is not giving out just yet. Kevin trying to get a run off here, off the corner here in turn number 4. Getting ominously close here. This could be his game plan. This is a strategy. You know, the stage's got one more lap to it, at least here. Got a good charge down the back straightaway, looking for the run, looking for an opening, looking for anything he can. Try to take him for a run, take him down for a spot. Oh, but Smith having a great corner entry into 3, great exit off of 4. And that one may have actually sealed the deal on Kevin McCann here. I don't even think he realized how smooth that was of a transition. Really backed and benefited him well here. And Brian McCann, Troy Radford now. Back battle for third. Points on the line. McCann up top side. McCann's on the top, looking for the runoff, looking for the speed boost. Coming down the end. They're coming down the wire here. Anybody's guess is going to take this one home. Radford and Brian right now off the corner edges. Smith and McCann straight to the line, finishing that out. That little battle has concluded itself. Troy Radford and Brian McCann, though, just completely fought and scratched and clawed for everything they got. They went for it all there. I guess they may end up going to lap 80, I guess. That's the one of them running it. They want to keep running it. I was pretty sure we still have a stage to go. I could be very wrong, though. I will admit that up front. Taking on board here, Kevin McCann. You can see him just dipping his toe straight into that corner entries and really getting some great runs off those exits. But the car still, even with all that rotation and the axis part of the rear end, it's just sliding down in perfectly and setting the car up for a great turn. It's still not able to grip enough because remember the sidewall and treads of these tires, what they're doing is they're making it extremely difficult to actually want to try to push them too hard. That's kind of what we always talked about with these next gens, why they are probably, in my opinion, the hardest car to drive next to those 87s here on iRacing. I will say that with the 87s, that to me is the true definition of performance standard and actually racing with some of the best and drivers with the most tough of equipments. I've only been able to get one win out of those 87s, and it wasn't even on asphalt, it was in a dirt race. But boy, was it a fun one. Bristol dirt track, baby. Threw some slide jobs, threw some haymakers in there. Man, I was wheeling those boys to the end of their days. It's one of the only times I actually felt comfortable driving that thing. But it was so much fun to do. Troy Radford, Brian McCann here, back and forth with one another here. Aaron Smith, Kevin McCann doing pretty much the same opposition. Both guys oppositions. Both guys completely giving it their heart, giving it their all. Look at our best lap times right now here, and Kevin McCann's, no surprise here, has the fastest with the 33.20. Smith's only been able to nail down a 33.40. Actually slower than Quick in the 54. Who laid down a 33.26. He has one of the faster times of the night, but it wasn't quite enough to make it the absolute fastest here. And I believe right now the way we're running, I believe we're already in stage number 2, so we're just going to go ahead and flip that on over as well. Let's go ahead and throw that in here, so I think we're in stage 2 now. How late the race is getting in, I'd say that's probably the best way to say it. I thought honestly they were racing hard because they were going for the stage points. Could be that, but also I think maybe they were just having a little fun down there. Chris Wiley right now in the number 5 after that little hiccup he suffered earlier on. Does have some damage on the right front there. Still, you can see it actually from his onboard camera here. You can take a look at it. You can see where the crinkles and the cuts are on that car there, and unfortunately a bit of that also has to do with hitting the wall earlier. Really just trying to stay out of trouble and trying to stay out of problems end here as soon as he can. Aaron Smith and Brian McCann both heading into pit road, which means Troy Radford, Brian McCann, all of them will take over position here as we are in stage 2. I should now clarify. Race officials getting in my ear. They're saying, yeah, we're on stage 2 here, guys. Troy Radford, you can actually hear him kind of clutching the car in a bit. He's actually trying to get the gas mileage to actually last out a little bit longer. No one behind him is a lone wolf in that 3 of Brian McCann. Driving a number that I think an old Intimidator used to make famous. Well, halfway down with this one, past halfway marker right now. Radford and McCann earlier on having a great tussle, great battle off from each other. And the laps definitely dictating that as well now for the long term, but McCann's still not going to give out or not go down just yet. The old saying goes, refuse to surrender, refuse to quit, don't not give in. And it looks like McCann might be starting to build up a little bit of speed back on the shot here. Again, a lot of that has to do with probably the fact he's also clutching the car in, trying to get the most out of his tank, most out of his fuel line here in that run. I think he's really looking towards the overall picture and the overall speed advantages and grab he can gain from stuff. Yellow flag out here. Trouble's down there for Chris Wally, it looks like, in the 5 yet again. Well, we'll have to take a look at the replay here and see what happened exactly to the number 5 here. I'm not sure. Maybe there's just too much damage on that car or what happened. Well, I guess he had to get reintroduced to the wall protection down in turn number 1. Came off that corner just wrong there and did not able to save it. At least stays out of trouble. Well, somewhat. Well, pretty good save though by the 5. I'll give him that. But unfortunately, that brings out the caution flag again here. We'll ship it on down to the boys here and have a listen in with the drivers yet again. See how everyone's been playing out here today. Let's take it down now and talk with one of our guys here in the number 7. David D. Brown is now on the line here. And David, as you get ready to head into pit row, the strategy in the 7 has been seemingly pretty speedful and pretty mindful. How's things been for you?
Interesting strategies all around by everybody. So yeah, as usual, learning a lot. But I don't know what we're going to do on tires here at the end of the race. They're going to be pretty worn out. But trying to be careful with them, trying to stay off the wall, but as close to it as I can, right? Because it hurts less when you hit it when you're right next to it. But having some fun.
Having some fun, really having some good times out here. We just thought we'd give you that little break to kind of get yourself centered in pit road. What's right now with the pit stops and timing wise, how much is that playing into a factor for these guys as you guys are now running out here in stage 2?
Yeah, the timing is a little weird, right? With we're what, at 60 to go or so now. We got another caution coming out at 110. I think we can only do about 40 laps on fuel, so I think that means a stop under caution here pretty soon, and then maybe another stop before making it to the end. So I'm not sure what to do here on strategy tire-wise, but we'll see if we can milk them as long as we can.
For sure there. Well, thank you for your time here, bud.
Thanks, man.
David E. Brown, the number 7, ladies and gentlemen, getting yourself more squared away right now, getting more squared off. We'll take a listen now down the number 5, Chris Wally here. And Wally, I know this has not quite been the best day for you and your end here. The 5, a little damaged and beaten and battered. But, I mean, there's one good news. I mean, the guy behind you, Brian McCann, hasn't exactly felt the same situation as you have because he's got some damage on your end, too.
Yeah, it's been a rough night. Probably should have downloaded the track and practiced a little more than I did. First time on the track is tonight. But we're learning. Turn 2's bit me twice now. I hate that I got into Paul earlier, and then right there, just I don't know, from the banking back to the flat, there's something happening there that's just messing me up bad right now.
Sure there. Well, nevertheless, so I know this is a bit of a home track feel for you and a home track advantage, I guess you could say. With this kind of being a little bit more closer down to the Tallahassee side of things, I mean, how much of a crowd fan base you think you really kind of got put down on there from the fans' perspective?
If there was anybody here, they've left. I guarantee you that. But no, we're just trying to get through the end of the season. I'm already out of contention for the playoff run. Looking forward to season 5. We got some big news coming soon, so hope everybody has their ears peeled and eyes open for that one. We've got some big paydays and some hardware going into season 5, so be on the lookout for that.
First news to us. It'll be interesting to see down the road. Wally, thanks for your time here, bud.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
He's going to get his lap back here, put himself back into the fight here. He will be out of the contention for the playoffs, but that doesn't mean he can't have a little fun racing it out. Race fans, when we come back, the action gets really hot and energized here in Homestead, Miami, Florida. Tonight's race, ladies and gentlemen, brought to you in part by our friends at Spartan Logistics Management, LLC, by R&R Racewear, the official merch store and website for the iRacing.com series and the IROC Challenge series, by Loud Pedal Gaming TV, smashing the loud pedal for your viewing entertainment, by SimSpeedShop.com, by Track Time Entertainment, and by 5-Star Graphics. A very big thank you from us here at PTM Racing TV Studios and from the IROC Challenge series for your support and dedication here to the show. The end of stage 2 draws near, only our second caution of the day, and we're just one step away from getting to the big one. Lap 110, you heard it clear as can be. That is where stage 3 will then kick off the corners of the front straightaway. Lead him down to the charge. Green is out. Aaron Smith right now knows he's what he must do. He got all the points he needed there in that first stage. He wants more though. He wants to make sure he gets that Final Four and he makes Brian McCann as well as the rest of those boys, whether it be the Meffords, one of the Meffords, maybe even, of course, Troy Radford or Cook Quick. He wants to make sure all of them are put on notice. And he's putting a lot of these drivers on notice just by simply just running around this track, putting on some speed, putting on a run. Get some hard charging off the corners, ends, and the bank as they go. Now a huge run coming up down between there for Chris Mefford as he puts the 46 right in the path of Brandon Mefford at 83. Going up top side, moving for the position, moving for the run. Kevin McCann now moving in between. You can just see how loose that 33 is rear end getting down there as well. He is getting all over the place and getting kind of shot down into a bit of a perspective here. He is struggling to maintain and diverge from losing the car outright. And you can even see Aaron Smith doing much the same, and Brian McCann holding him back on the race lead. Brian McCann trying to hold off the one, but Aaron Smith though today just seems like he may be untouchable here at Homestead, Miami. He certainly seems like he put a lot of effort and a lot of care into this #1 car to try to win out this race and try to become the best driver today. He knows he needs to because he lost so much points and so much time and ground and gain from the last time we were out here on PTM Racing TV. He knows this one could change everything if he can just get the car to last out as long as he's been running today. Meanwhile, all around us, look at this incredible display of hard control and stability by the Meffords as well as Radford right now. Every single one of these guys here literally in a very close cornered end here, a very tough little spot to deal with on the track and race around. Run wrong move and it could be game over for them. Brandon and Chris still dogfighting one another around. Brian McCann pushed back to the back. The 3 yet again, slowing down for that one of Aaron Smith. He'll have to let Kevin McCann intervene. Family member Kevin in the 33 going to let the 3 draft right on him here and maybe help him out a little bit. Kevin's trying to get up there at Aaron Smith, make his life a little bit more difficult, a little bit more treacherous as they got about 10 laps to go before they enter into the next stage. What a race and what a fight, to say the least, here by all involved today. The night lights here have quite a bit of show. Coming up on the top side here, Chris Medford on the 46. Now getting a little bit of speed boost off the top side here, making a huge run for the top end. Guys up front right now absolutely putting on a raw performance of display and control right now. They are trying to get to that big bad number 1 though that leads all of them ahead. Aaron Smith has been just so tempting and tenacious all day long. He's just trying to keep up the control and trying to keep up that speed. Radford right now, the tires are hurting, the car is hurting, but he is still trying to get that top 3 and get the maximum amount of bonus points they can get. Remember, with stage 1, 6, 3, and 1. Well, in stage 2, it's 10, 6, and 3 you can gather for your stage points, and that is going to mean a lot here. When you start to get into the lower end of the lower sections, it becomes very crucial to make some big moves, some big runs, and they know it. Medford taking over the 3rd spot here. Radford looking to go for the 3rd though. Down low, says, hey, let's see where this one can go. Here comes the 94, Radford down the bottom. Radford shoots for the whole shot, looks for a run, can't quite get him though. And Kevin McCann, by the way, that 33, he was etching slower and slower. Right up on that number 1. It was a very slow lead regarding a little shot, almost like a purposeful move here too. Knew what he was up to, knew what he had to do, but it wasn't quite there just yet. Brian McCann laying back low. He played a little possum. Now he's going to try to make a move back on the boys here. As you can see, Medford and Radford still battling hard for that position. 4 to go. 4 more, and then it's stage break number 3, which will then, or stage number 2 completed, which then will bring us to the final stage, stage 3. With only a select amount of laps left to go. Medford back to the bottom again on Radford. Radford back up top side. Radford trying to hold him up there, trying to keep it from the crossover. Knows the slide job is a performed move here a lot. I've done it myself with the Xfinity Truck Series. It's not easy to do, but when you get it done right, oh my friends, it's fun to do. Radford right underneath it, right on that shot in that bubble zone. Every guy for themselves. Aaron Smith just kind of laying in wait, just staying out of that mess, staying out of the problem zone. He knows he doesn't have to worry about the guys behind him. He needs to worry about himself. And he'll handle this one. Radford has now got up there to the number 33. Trouble down there for David E. Brown, though, off of turn number 2. Problems for the 7. 7 got loose, got tight, then all of a sudden went almost down to the bankments in the inside panel there of the infield. Stayed away from it, but that could have been disastrous, to say the least here. One more fight, one more shot into the dark. Look at Radford. Look at him just pound the steering wheel straight into the ground here. Trying to get that 33 of McCann. You know, right now, if I'm Aaron Smith, I might be a little bit worried right now knowing that Radford and McCann are pretty much both equal in their counterparts. They could honestly make for a very tricky, determined little spot to deal with later. I would not envy being in Aaron Smith's shoes right now. That's all I could say. Lap 110 has hit. And it looks like they're going one more time around, and then that stage caution comes out. Tim Schofield goes into pit road to settle himself up for the score, set him up for the run. Right down to the edge here. One more shot from the dark. Down to the bottom goes Radford again, looking for the final closer. He's going to try to draft at it. Look, make it for the crossover off the turn. Down to the finish. Radford, not enough there. But what a move and what a performance there to try to take a hold of it. He gave it everything he had and then some here. And the final stage has now been engaged. Yellow is out. Well, my friends, what a battle and what a fight off here between our drivers. And now, with only 40 laps left to go, they got a 40 lap fuel line here and a fuel limit. Will they have enough to get through? Only time will tell. We're going to find out here in just a little bit. Stay tuned. We will be right back. Tonight's race, ladies and gentlemen, brought to you in part by our friends at Spartan Logistics Management, LLC. By R&R Racewear, the official iRacing merch store, as well as the IROC Challenge Series merch store. Get your merch today. By Apparel Gaming TV, smashing the lapel for your viewing entertainment. By SimSpeedShop.com. By Track Time Entertainment. And by 5-Star Graphics. A very big thank you from all of us here at PTM Racing TV Studios, as well as the IROC Challenge Series, for your support and dedication to the show and to the drivers down here. It's time to take a listen in here with our drivers right now, as we now be presented and visited by the 40 of Jeff Napier. And Napier, I know today it seemed like you're really planned out some strategies and planned out a very crucial run, but it seems as though the run itself may not quite be enough with the speed and the power these guys are bringing to the table, is it?
Nah, these guys are really good at this track. This is not one of my better tracks. This and Bristol and a couple others are bad for me. I'm just kind of hanging in here to get the best finish I can. I had a pretty good race going with Matt there, though. I hope we put on a good show anyway.
Yeah, we did get a bit of that there, and a pretty good little battle between you two. I know it definitely kind of shows the experience and the dedication you two have kind of presented on each other time and time again throughout the season, isn't it?
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, we raced hard, never touched, never made contact on one time. I got the fence a couple times.
Got the fence a couple times, but yeah, I mean, in fact, the cars didn't touch. Better saying than anything. So, Napier, thanks for your time here, sir.
Yeah, no problem. Going to pit here and get some tires and stuff.
Sounds good. Napier right now goes into pit road, so we'll see what is planned out, is what his strategy's going to be out here. Ray Radford. We'll talk with him in a minute as soon as he comes out of pit road. I think it's time to go ahead and bring in old Pops here, Doug Wysocki, now joining me here on the number 34 camp. And Wysocki, you've had some moments of brilliance earlier on here, kind of leaning into the mid-pack, but it seems like long run-wise, the car still having some treachery and some struggles here. What's been going down for you and the crew?
Yeah, man, it's really not the car. It's more me of just being attentive, just so I can finish, trying to stay clean. And the car's not that bad. Like I said, it's just me. I'm just, if you get to the gas too quick, like any other week, it'll come around. But tonight it's a little bit tighter. So, but just hanging in there, see what happens.
Hanging in there, seeing maybe there's something in there for you and the crew, and what you can bring down to the table here. Now, I know obviously you've always made that joke here. You're saying that it's not the car, it's your fault, but I gotta believe a little bit has to do with how difficult the car is.
Yeah, I mean it's difficult to drive, but I mean I just take longer to adjust to it than some of these guys.
For sure, there. Well, nevertheless, we'll see if maybe you can adjust a little bit more, and maybe there's something left in the season for you. But nevertheless, Doug, appreciate your time here, sir.
Yeah, man. Thanks. Appreciate you guys.
Absolutely. Doug Wysocki here, old Pops, having a little chat with us down here on the track. Troy Radford here, we talked to them earlier on, man. I tell you what, he was extremely determined to get the points and get himself set for Martinsville. I think he's done that and then some today, without a shadow of a doubt. And it's performed extremely well in the perfect sense and the perfect amount of time. So the stage is set. Final stage underway, race fans. This time by, we let loose the hounds, we let loose the beast within. They have a set amount of laps to work with the fuel, they have a set amount of laps to work with the race. We saw what these guys will do when they've only got 20 to go. What will they do when they've got only 35 laps left to compete? Off the green flag restart. The lights are on. Everyone's home. Let's go, go, go. Green flag racing here at Homestead in Miami. Cook quick, put back in the pack a little bit. Kevin McCann was already looking to shoot his target and shoot his gun out immediately at Aaron Smith. Radford trying to get right into that, mixing into that bunch already. Brian McCann straight on to the top, on the bottom line here, looking for some speed, looking for an advantage here. As Cook quick, hoping to maybe give himself some breathing room and some time to work with here. I could kind of see what his strategy was. He was really trying to bolster and manipulate the momentum of the run, but I don't see it being that much of a help anymore. I think he might have lost a bit of it out. David Brown right now, he is also looking for a little bit of a comeback tour, a little bit of a comeback run, more than most bands break up these days. Every driver themselves here right now, man, nobody giving an edge, absolutely no one letting off that throttle here and trying to keep into the gas, trying to keep into position here. David Brown, though, well, I saw him really scooting up topside. Got way too aggressive in turn 1 and 2. You gotta still watch those corners, and especially if you try to dare shoot the middle part of turn 1 and 2. There is a little flat spot down there that ends up getting you pretty loose and getting you very tacky and a little tire really sent off to the shadow realm if you're not careful. Without doubt, he found it down there, and he about found himself in the upper echelon. Yep. It's not a place you want to be, my friends, nor is it a place you want to get yourself into. Yeah, he was being very careful, but it did not quite go according to plan. Brown coming right up in brigade into position here. The zone's off. We're getting very close for comfort, very close to the ends. Chris Mefford, I guarantee you right now, laying back just a little bit. I think he's trying to use up some of that timing, some of that pacing. You know, I do like the strategy he's doing here. I do like the strategy the guys in the back are trying to pull off, but at the same time, I'm honestly not a fan of trying to have to wait out and having to wait long enough here. I feel like this is a bad omen here because you're putting yourself into a very troublesome nuisance here if you're not careful. Kevin McCann, Aaron Smith, they seem like they want only one thing, and that is pretty much to outplay and outdo the other. They've been battling hard all day long. I guess you could say they're the Max Verstappen and the Lewis Hamilton of our season when it comes to the battles between them, or even Brian McCann. That's seemingly been like that the entire night, to say the least. They have good respect for each other and good racing for one another here. They know what it takes to be the best and what it takes to control the best, but I don't think they realize like what they really put on today and what they have performed out on this track. They have done much more than just race hard. They have been racing with purpose and dedication. And I think we don't get too much of that anymore these days here on the show, as much as really I think we really could get. And we're seeing a lot more of it and then some right now. We are nearly about 25 laps left to go, and really the dark horse I've been talking about all day long might be starting to get the reins closer together, more tightened up. May just be that time at last. It's Troy Radford setting everybody up for the big move off. I want to say he probably is. I want to say he probably is in a perfect position. These two just continue to duke it out here. Meanwhile, Radford laying in wait, just ready to strike while the iron's hot. Meanwhile, Brian McCann, the number 3 here, making a little bit of resurgence, a little bit of a comeback tour. He's trying to get that number 3 machine right back into the fray, back into this fight. He knows with the top 5, though, that will still help him out and still give him plenty of room for the next couple races coming up. Boy, what are the next couple of races we have in store for you fans. Next week, Martinsville Speedway. And then it's off back to Daytona International Speedway on the 26th. Check back at Auto Club Speedway, though, for the final closing round. With one last race, with the last race being that day. Daytona will be the final race before the big one at Auto Club Speedway. A champion will be crowned then and there. And you know, we saw the battle at Auto Club Speedway here this last couple of weeks here and the NASCAR section a couple months ago. I really do feel like it was a performance and a making of a very high-end level. I think we may get more of that and then some here. Three laps left to go here, and guys in the back still having a little bit of a tussle down there. Cook quick. He's not giving out just yet here. Oh, well, but I guess maybe the cars are giving out a little bit though. Cook quick, Jeff Napier. Both guys planting him right in off of turn number 3 there. They were able to resettle back down, keep themselves under control, and dictate some more pacing. But definitely could tell that wall took a bit of them out of their way and took a bit out of them. This right now, the battle for the lead. 3 cars with an extremely incredible strategy right now. Every single one of these guys have just been doing one thing and one thing only: timing the pace, dictating the momentum. Using it all to their advantage and using only, by their account, the best line of sight, their best line and momentum boost. And that's exactly why they have been absolutely tormenting this race in its entirety and really just making every driver question whether or not they would have been able to actually handle and be able to polster down and really fight them on off. Final 20 laps now. Smith knows these guys may be backing off a little bit from him because they're setting him up for a little bit of a big push to the big run. He's going to have to time every move and every little spot here, knowing just how difficult this can get for him. Yeah, 3 of Brandon Bedford here looking to maybe make a little bit more of a showing for himself. Kevin McCann way wide into the wall protection there off of turn number 2. Put himself in a bit of a pickle there, kind of getting off that corner, and he's going to have to be careful. He needs to start being more observant of that turn and being more observant of these runs. Troy Radford now has got back out there. Kevin McCann here. He's looking for some optimistic points and optimical line. The optimics right now of every single one of these guys here has been put on complete notice, has been put on complete charge, and it's traveling without a shadow of a doubt. Every single driver has been clairvoyant and really manipulating everything they can. But is it going to be able to last that long enough? Caution's out once again, though. Problems down there. Chris Wally gonna bring out the caution flag yet again. What has happened to the number 5? Because now what it has done is made this an absolute shootout for the final drivers. We had a camera on the 5 as this happened. And it looks like the Next Gen Cup car just making things so much more difficult and so much more hard to deal with. This is what I was honestly expecting, was to have some real troubles down there. Looked like Wally might have lost steering as he slammed the wall there coming off of turn 3. I can't really tell from that angle. We'll take one more look at it here, but I think he might have lost steering. Yeah, the way that looked, I would say he definitely lost steering in the car there. He has got it sense corrected and steered out, but unfortunately that's not going to help him now. What an absolute heartbreaker down there for that crew and for that team. Now the pit stop is going to really maintain and really bring these guys to a whole nother level, but who's going to get out first? Smith with that first spot, gonna get out quicker. McCann gonna beat out Chris Medford here, which will help him out, but he did not beat out Brandon Medford, so his top 5 spot definitely kind of edged out a little bit. This is gonna make things a little bit more difficult here. We'll leave the drivers alone for now because really there's no point kind of talking with them. These final laps coming up here. This is going to basically just be an all-out shootout between these guys. What a position to be put into, and I guarantee you right now, Chris Wally not happy with himself, not happy with the way things have went today. And these guys, these crew drivers, now find themselves in a very unique position. I just don't know, though, who's going to be the one that has the advantage. We've seen every single one of these drivers have great clairvoyance and great clear speeds. But, I mean, right now, I really don't know who you can really consider to be the top of the line, top of the roster. Every single one of these drivers have been pretty much top of that line, top of that spot. Either way, this one will be finished under one way, though, and that is with a win. Somebody is going to pop away with the victory here, but which one will it be? The field is set. We're ready for this one to be closed out, race fans. What a day it has been for all the IROC Challenge Series drivers and for everyone on PTM TV studios. We thank you for tuning in. But with 10 laps to go this time by, who is going to come out on top? Who is going to win this one out? We'll reel them off into the final sectors. Here we go. Green flag is out. We've got 10 to go. Top 5 on your screen. Which driver will it be? Coming on the start, David Brown. Oh, he's going to be troublesome for that 33. Kevin McCann. Brian McCann also mixed in. Every driver piled up a little bit. They're trying to get out of that mess. Brandon Medford capitalizes big time on the 83. David Brown up top side, 3 wide salute into the turn. First time tonight we've seen the 3 wide salute being put into such an optimistical position. Brandon Redford trying to get out, but no! He's going to get clipped in by the 46 Chris Medford, and a huge hit off of turn 1. No! Oh, you know. All that strategy, all that work, and all that pressure. He needed a big day here. And unfortunately, his day may have just been completely ended. He's going to head to pit road. But that might have just ended his entire, that may have ended his entire playoff run here. I don't know. We'll have to take a look at the replay though. Well, David Brown was going for all the points he could get. Troy Radford, Chris Medford, and David Brown right now. Look at this, how close it is right there. That's how close that was. David got a little tapped in there. Radford, Medford trying to back off. Wysocki had nowhere to go, and neither did Cook Quick or Matt Kopp. And boy, what a just an absolute heartbreaker for that number 94. He's in pit road now, and I can see he's about ready to hop out of that car. Looks like he's unstrapping it from the car, so that is going to be the game over for him. We'll have to see what his see what his manager in the car of him say, but the way it looks, I think he might be done. And he's going to need all the help he can get at those 2 big tracks. He's not out of the playoffs yet, by any means. He still does have a chance. Let's not get ourselves here, folks. He does have a chance. But he needs help, and he needs a lot of it. He has, of course, Martinsville Speedway in his back pocket. He does have Daytona, another big track here that can be the breeding ground to success. But what it all boils down to is how you manipulate, how you strategize, and how you set yourself up for the big picture. Drivers will go one more time around. And my folks, what a wild day of racing this has absolutely been. They'll have 4 laps to go come next restart. Kevin McCann getting the tires warmed up. Brandon Mefford getting the tires warmed up. Every single one of these drivers right now trying to get the most amount of heat they can into these tires right now. What they're trying to do is set themselves up. You may have noticed something. I've talked about it before here on the show, but warming those tires up is going to give them a little bit more grip and a little bit more pressure to be put down on the track. That being put down on the track, it does make things a little bit easier to try to get a firm shot on the hold shot and then on the run late in that position. And with Smith controlling the pace, he controls the start. Once he gets going off that line, if you haven't found a way to grip it into turn 1, turn 2, and then get a grip on the back stretch with him on that turn 3 and 4, he may end up walking away from you, and you may have a little bit of trouble getting this one down. Talked about how crazy those 550 horsepower package races can be with the finish to the start. Well, right now you're about to see what 670 horsepower can do for you here in this absolute wild little shot we're about to see. How did you save your tires? How much did you save with the car? And do you have enough time left to make this one work? You're about to find out. Across the plains, across the rains, it is time to find our winner. Here we go. Look at the flash bulbs going off. This place is going nuts. Here we go, down turn number 1, down turn number 2. Kevin McCann on the outside, Brandon on the bottom. Brandon Mefford trying to get a move on here to get right up there, number 1 of Smith, while also trying to help Kevin McCann just kind of get into that position too to fight with Smith. Hammering down on the corner planes here, every driver for themselves. 3 to go. And we are breaching it one more step ahead here right now. We're coming up fast. We're coming up quick. We'll have 2 to go this next time on by. Brian McCann looking for an opening, looking for a hard charge, a hard dash. He's looking to maybe get a few more spots up on these guys. Brandon Mefford knows what's right behind him. Looks like he's going to have some company on his hands in just a minute. 2 laps to go. Green flag high in the air. We've got only 2 left. Positioning and key strategies now being put into full effect. Who played it out smarter than the other? Who got enough time under the track, under the hood? This time by race fans, just send it to the white flag now. It is anybody's guess who can bring this one home. White flag high in the air. Aaron Smith leads them off. Kevin McCann looking for one last push, one last run. Does he have enough? Kevin going for broke, goes to the outside. I don't see that car getting much speed though. There's not enough room down there to make or break it. Smith with one more set of turns to go. Fire him down into turn number 3. Down into turn number 4. A last ditch effort by Brian McCann to get to Brandon Mefford will make his run for the finish. But off of turn 4, Aaron Smith will redemption himself from last week and come away with a win. McCann goes second. Third goes to Mefford. What a race. Aaron Smith wanted this one so badly he felt like he could taste it. Well, he doesn't need to taste it anymore. He feels every bit of it. What a performance. Here are the results. Smith wins it. McCann second, third to Mefford. Brian McCann goes fourth. Chris Mefford will go fifth. Sixth to David Brown. Seventh to Matt Cobb. Eighth to Cook Quick. Ninth to Jeff Napier. Doug Wysocki goes 10th. And that will round out the top 10 here. What a wild, wild race it has been, race fans. And now, time has come. It's time to listen to the top 3 drivers today. Let's go ahead and take it down here with the man we talked with a little earlier on in the 83. Ladies and gentlemen, Brandon Mefford now joins me in here. And Brandon, we talked about it earlier. You said point blank, I'm looking to try to get this thing going. I'm looking to try to build some speed here. And you certainly did late into the run and late in the show. But boy, that one took quite a bit out of you, didn't it?
Yeah, man, that was a handful. Car was really good. It really coming to me about 12 or 15 laps into the run, and I could start running those guys back down. But I mean, give it to Aaron and Kevin. Man, those guys were right up there. I mean, they're really quick, and even Troy, and he had some mishaps. But stoked to be sitting here P3.
Stoked to be here in P3, and I know with the positions and the way everything played out, I know you really needed all the control and all the speed to get around that track, but really with how tore up this car was here for the long haul, how were you able to even kind of keep this thing under with the power and pressure that Brian McCann was throwing at you?
Yeah, Brian took on some damage early on, but he was really quick there for about 4 or 5 laps after a restart. So I just knew I had to get in the corner and get off the corner a little bit ahead of him. He was going to be hurting down the straightaway, so was worried he had something there for me at the end, but luckily enough he did not.
For sure there. Well, nevertheless, though, this one plays out perfectly, gives you everything you needed and then some, and what a win and a victory for you and your crew. With that mind, that said, who do you want to thank you for all this today?
I want to thank all the sponsors for this league. We have lost quite a few drivers here towards the end of the season as we wind this series down, but the sponsors in this league have really stepped up, given us a lot of nice prizes. Chris Wally for everything he does. He's a very busy man. Thank you for the broadcast. Thank my Falcon teammates. Thank the drivers in this league for making it what it is. Hopefully we can grab some guys as we go into next season. And then, thank, like I said, my Falcon team, my family, Zoe's Place over here in Greenfield, Indiana. If anybody's listening, please check them out. Donate if you can. They help a bunch of children out who's going through hard times, and it means a lot to me. It's close to home. But other than that, man, that's all I got.
For sure there. Ladies and gentlemen, Brandon Mefford coming away third out of the bunch. Congratulations, sir.
Thanks, man.
I'm pretty sure he said Falcon teammates, by the way, guys, so do not correct us in the comment section if you would. Anyway, here we go. Second place finish here today here for Kevin McCann. And Kevin, man, I tell you what, every time you come out here, you're either dealing with Brian, you're either dealing with Aaron, or you're dealing with somebody out here one way or another. But what a long, hard, drawn-out fight you brought to the table, you brought to the track, and you just never gave in, never gave up. But that last caution, I feel like, may have done the damage, didn't it?
Yeah, I did everything I could there. It's really tough track tonight. Just really hard on the tires, so tire saving was key, and it's one of the things I struggle with. And Aaron and even Brian are typically better at tire saving than I am, but I gave it my best effort, and it's just one of those things. I could hang with them, but getting around them is a whole nother story. And then dealing with the track changed drastically throughout the night. At the beginning, in the first stage, you could get around the top side pretty good, but there toward the end of the race, it got really tight and couldn't make that top side work. So it's just kind of follow the leader on the bottom there, and ultimately, it's tough to get around Aaron at any track, especially here tonight. So just congrats to him on the win.
For sure there. I know a lot of you guys really kind of having to deal with the added pressure and how loose this car could get or how tight it can be sometimes. And, we always kind of talk about how that wet dry scenario with the car and the way the track kind of brings into factor here. I know this was a bit of a handful, bit of a head scratcher too at times, but with only 2 races left before we enter into the final race at Auto Club, I would have to think that these races are going to get things even more and more aggressive for these guys that are looking for position. And, you are definitely one of those guys that, just takes come out here and try to make the best of the scenario. I mean, what do you have to deal with in your mind to kind of stay focused with that in this case?
I love it, man. I don't have anything to lose, and those guys in the playoff running, they have everything to lose. So if it comes down to it, I know I always have that in my back pocket. I can be a little bit more aggressive than I normally would, and they've got to be a little more cautious than they normally would. So it's going to be interesting. I think we've got like a short track coming up, Martinsville. That's going to be interesting. Got to be really aggressive to pass there, and then Auto Club is one of those wild cards. I don't think we've driven it since the aero and horsepower update on the car. But I suspect it's going to be a lot like we saw here. Typically, really, really abrasive surface, really hard on the tires. So it's going to be a handful, that's for sure.
It sure will indeed. Well, nevertheless, though, as we close out tonight here today for you and your crew, I mean, who do you want to thank here today, my friend?
I just thank Wally and crew for putting on the league, and all the sponsors that come on. You guys for broadcasting, and just again shout out to Aaron there for the win.
For sure there. Well, nevertheless, Kevin, congratulations on the second place finish, and good to see you pop another one off in the top spot. Kevin, ladies and gentlemen, comes away second place here today. Put up a great fight and a great run to try to knock down this man we talked to now. The race winner today, ladies and gentlemen, Aaron Smith, the reigning defending champion, once again comes through. And Aaron, every time we come talk to you and every time we come, have you on the show, I just swear, you just seem like you're always getting the most out of this equipment, most out of this run. And once again, you literally look like a man on a mission today to make sure this thing was going to run at your pace and your level, and it looked like you controlled that from start to finish. Great work, sir.
Thank you. I certainly can't complain about a race going as well as that, but let's see if we can get another 3 of those. I'm looking forward to the next couple races here. I mean, we have, Martinsville and Daytona leading up to Auto Club?
Yep, that is what we have left, and then it will be Auto Club as the championship race, so kind of the final closing out party, if you will, for these guys as well as yourself.
Yeah, I'm certainly glad I don't have to go through Martinsville and Daytona without that advance to the last round, but I'm looking forward to seeing how those go. Should be fast at Martinsville, but I'm not too sure about Daytona.
Definitely. Well, nevertheless, though, at Daytona, I know that's kind of a bit of a wild card for you and the crew, but Martinsville-wise, I'll ask you this, my friend. I mean, what's going to be your number one priority there? Is it just going to be stay out of trouble for the first part, or is it going to be just do what you did here at Homestead?
Yeah, I'll try to keep my nose clean there. I don't want to go taking out anybody who will be racing me for the championship at Auto Club, obviously, but we'll see if I have some speed there, and if I do, I'll go for the win.
Go for the win, go for it all. Well, nevertheless, Smith, you went for it all and took a good shot in the arm today with a big win. Who do you want to thank here for all this, sir?
Yeah, I'd like to thank all the folks at the IROC Challenge for putting this show on, y'all for broadcasting, as well as everyone for watching. Looking forward to getting back at it at Martinsville.
Absolutely. We can't wait to see it then. Well, nevertheless, Smith, congratulations on this race win. We'll see you next time out, bud.
All right, thank you.
Aaron Smith, ladies and gentlemen, pops away with the win. And race fans, that's all but going to do it for our showcase today. A big thank you again to Spartan Logistics Management LLC, R&R Racewear, Apparel Gaming TV, SimSpeedShop.com, Track Time Entertainment, and 5-star graphics for everything. To all you fans out there, thanks so much for the support. We'll see you guys next time when the green flag flies.